Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something you cannot explain?
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle in a city called Fresno, California. Hello, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for the show. I'm also the founder of a group called the Sanger Paranormal Society. I've been investigating the paranormal for going on 14 years now, so I'm just not up here talking about it. I'm actually living it. I have a team. One member of the team is sitting right here to the right-hand side of me, Mr. Alan Thomas, co-host.
Hi, everyone. How you doing? I'm excited.
Thank you for showing up wherever you may be around the world, and I am talking around the world. Thank you for staying up in the wee hours of the morning on the other side. Appreciate it much. We are broadcasting live HD quality video and audio on live stream. And that's where you're at right now. We have a website, ParanormalCentral.net. That'll be the best way to get to our network on live stream. If you are watching us later on down the week and you want to know when we go live, that's Sundays at 6 o'clock p.m. West Coast time. Just go to ParanormalCentral.net, hit the link that says live stream, and you are there. And you're probably noticing if you went to our website that you'll see the CW logo on there. Yeah, well, they gave us a chance, the opportunity to shoot some episodes of our talk show, and they are airing it right now on the CW in Central California, so it's in several million homes. Thank you for that, to the network here in Fresno, California, for doing that for us. Totally different on what we're doing now. So, we have a live studio, band and all that kind of good stuff. So it's a lot different than what we're doing now. Tonight, yes, we are going down the rabbit hole. Seriously. I mean, for all those who have been following us for years. How long have we been doing this, Alan? 8 years now?
Somewhere in there, between 7 and 8.
We've had this talk show going on for 8 years, guys. And you guys are probably going, what? How come this is the first time I've heard of you guys? Well, I don't know. But, we try to promote ourselves as much as we can. It's word of mouth. And if you finally found us, well, you know what? We've been doing this a while. We have a lot of the shows are archived right now on live stream, and we do have a Paranormal Central YouTube channel, so you can always go back there and watch them as well whenever you want. And there you go. I think we're different than a lot of the other paranormal shows out there. And how's that, Jeff? Well, we're investigators. We're not up here just talking about other people's stories. We go out and we go in search of, we go, camping up in the mountains. We go look for Bigfoot. We're out chasing UFOs. I mean, literally. And, we spend the night in people's homes and we help them get rid of evil spirits.
Literally.
Yes. And that's what we do here. We help people. We try to give you guys the best info that we can. I'm not up here going to shoot you BS. If I'm going to have a guest on here, it's because I think that I found something that pertains to the guest that I think you guys need to hear about, that we can show you. Tonight is going to be just that.
We need to address something that's going on chat. And it's our YouTube. All right, guys, man, I'm really sorry about the YouTube. I've tried and tried and tried to get the videos up. A couple of weeks ago, we were on a topic that was, it must have been touchy to somebody because it shut our whole internet down, and it made the video that was saved onto the computer, I mean like raw video coming, it made it unreadable to the computers. And then the next show, the very next week, whatever was saved to the computer is unreadable again. So, I mean, I can't, I've messed with it for 2 weeks now trying to make these videos where it will read, where I could watch it. For some reason, it's weird. I can watch it on the computer, but you know how when the little bar moves along as the video progresses? Well, on the video, the little bar is all the way across. It doesn't move. It's like it's at the end of the video, and I watch it for 50 minutes. But when I go to upload it, immediately YouTube kicks it out as saying does it not readable format or whatever. And if I put it in Movie Maker doesn't even recognize it, or any editing program I try to. So I don't know, I'm going to mess with it some more. I found I changed where it saves the files last week. So it saved in 2 different places on the computer. I'm going to grab last week's show and this week's show, and I'll try and get this thing up, okay? I am so sorry, though.
Okay, and we're trying. Now, at this point in time, we don't know what's going on. Many of you who have been watching us for years and years, when we talk about a certain subject, then things start happening. Do we have any proof? No, we don't have any proof. But, our video is unreadable. And I don't know why. And so there you go. We're going to have special guests tonight. And like I said, we are going down the rabbit hole tonight.
Boy, are we.
Cloning. Human cloning. I would never have thought in a million years that I would be talking about human cloning. But we're going to be talking about human cloning, all right? I mean, we're talking sci-fi stuff here.
Star Wars. All you Star Wars fans, Donald Marshall, he says the lizards look like the ones in Star Wars, and they have cloning in Star Wars. I mean, this is going to be interesting.
Well, we got a guest tonight calling in from Nova Scotia, and his name is Donald Marshall. He has been talking about human cloning and other things, the Illuminati, reptilian lizards, for a long time. I've known about him. Alan has known about him way more than me.
Probably for me for 4 years or so.
And
I've been reading his posts.
I just have never had the proof required to, to get him on here and to talk some more until some very popular, rock stars tweeted some information. And if you were with us last week, I posted those tweets. I'm going to post one right now so that way you can see it. Nicki Minaj tweeted something about human cloning, and it's out there on the internet. It's actually real. She posted something, and later on she deleted it. There's also a couple of more posts. One from B.O.B., the rapper B.O.B. He really spoke about human cloning. He actually said he's seen the cloning centers. And then another one by Lil Bankrupt, I guess. I've seen cloning centers as well. Now, this is the reason why we have Donald Marshall on tonight.
And Britney Spears and her Break the Ice video where she goes in the cloning center and actually puts a bomb right on her clone tube, and then she blows it up and tears up some robot guy.
So Donald Marshall is going to be calling in right now. He should be calling in.
Well, he should be watching.
Yeah. He should be calling in anytime. And we're going to get him on the screen right behind us. We're going to dim down the lights. And we are going to go downtown, literally. For all those people, there he is. Mr. Donald Marshall, are you there?
I am.
Right on.
Hi, Donald.
Howdy.
All right, let's get him on the big screen behind us. Stand by, stand by. We're going to dim the lights a little bit.
I got to...
Hold on here, Donald. We're going to get you on the big screen right behind us.
Yeah, I have my director doing everything for me.
Which is him. Hold on here, hold on.
Let's see.
And Alan. So how's it going, Donald?
Not going too bad.
All right. Probably going to need to speak a little louder.
Said it's not going bad.
All right, right on. Yeah, I'm going to turn you up down here. Okay. All right. And Alan has got you on the screen now. He's going to bump it up a little bit and make it full screen here. Now, you guys all have to remember, it's just Alan and myself in the studio. We don't have like a major budget or anything. It's just us two. We don't have a camera crew. There he is. Yeah.
Right on. All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. So what time is it over there?
It's 10 after 10.
10 after 10. So hope it's not past your bedtime, man, because we're going to keep you on for about an hour and a half.
Well, I'll have to make do.
Right on.
Is everybody like, okay, everybody in chat, can you hear him? Like, sound off here. Let me know.
Okay. Right on. All right. Well, we Skyped a couple of days ago just to make sure that we had the signal strength and everything was going good with your camera and our camera. And I told you basically the reason why we are having you on tonight. We talk about everything here on the show. Illuminati, conspiracy theories, reptilian, aliens, the whole 9 yards, man. And Alan has been talking about you.
More volume for Donald, okay?
Okay.
They sounded off. There's 100 and something people said too low.
Just on chat, okay. And Alan has been talking about you, man, for a long time. He's been following you for over 4 years now. And he's been telling me, I heard about you as well, and I, in this show, I need some type of proof, all right, Donald, for me to even say, wait a minute, there's got to be something going on here. And I told you when I saw the tweet from Nicki Minaj, and then I did a little bit more research, and B.O.B., the rapper, and then somebody else did a tweet as well, and I said, okay, why would they? Matter of fact, I just showed Alan on BET's website, dude. B.O.B. is talking about cloning centers on the BET website, Black Entertainment website.
Cool.
All right, that's on there. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I have you on tonight. Because if they're going to put that stuff on there, then there's something to it.
They're ready for prime time.
Right.
A lot of people that are there are real scared to say anything about it.
Right.
Because, it's kind of like forbidden to give up this secret, multiple secrets.
Right.
Well, kind of like
sound.
bad things happen, though, don't they? For people to talk about it.
The worst things, yeah. They can, they can be killed in conventional ways, or they can be remotely killed from manipulating their clone bodies remotely. Or they can even just be rendered mentally impaired after a time, also by messing with their clones in ways. And it's been done, like different people
Okay.
have died. Like, let's see.
Well, let's introduce everybody to you, because our fans, like I said, this is a subject where we've been talking about the Illuminati for a long time.
He needs to be louder.
Okay.
Still.
Yeah.
Is that as loud as you can?
I got that full blast on this side. Can you talk a little bit louder for us?
I could try. I got this microphone headset in to make it sound a bit better.
Let's see if Mr. Allen can. You know what I'm going to do? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank it on the master over here. Hold on. All right, go ahead and say something, Donald, for me.
Testing.
All right, well, let's try that. Hope I'm not peaking over here. Let me look at the volume on our end here. Check 1, 2, 3. Check. All right, check 1, 2.
Check 1. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's as high as we could get him, guys.
Yeah. I've got it pegged. Hold on here.
We got a lot of fans in the chat, Donald. Lots of them.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Okay. Well, let's hopefully we can. Like Like I said, I've got you peaked up pretty loud, so we'll see what happens there. Okay. Introduce everybody to you, Donald. How did you get involved in this cloning centers? How? I mean, start off from the very beginning, man.
Okay. Well, Donald Marshall. I first became involved with them when I was almost 5, probably at the end of my 4th year, being 5 years old. I opened up my eyes one day. I opened up my eyes one day and I was at this place. I was in, looks like a small sport venue, like a hockey rink, but instead of ice in the center, there was dirt. Hockey boards all around, and people in the stands. I didn't know how I'd gotten there. I thought that I'd been kidnapped or something, that I'd been brought there, but it wasn't even me as my real body. It was me as a clone. It's a different kind of clone, though. The clones people typically assume are what clones are. They're raised up from a baby, grown in test tube, and raised up from a baby, and it's a real slow process. But that's replication cloning. They can also do duplication cloning. Now, duplication cloning forms absolutely, almost totally identical copy of yourself. And they can activate these things while you are in REM sleep with what they call a consciousness trance.
But what I want to know, though, is why did they chose you, though? How did you get down there? Why did they chose you?
Well, they chose me because they wanted to use me for to be molested by rich old people.
Okay, but why you? Why not like me, or why not Alan, or why not my wife? You follow me? I mean, why is there something special about you?
No, they get all kinds of kids there. I was just one of them. I was a cute kid.
Okay, and how old were you when you went there?
Almost 5 or 5.
Five years old. Okay.
So they like them young, huh?
Oh yeah, they're pretty sick like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot to it, though. There's a lot of factors as to why they get them there.
Okay.
It would take a while to tell you all of that, and that's just the psychology of a sick mind, right?
Right.
But then it also has to do with aliens as well. Aliens are pretty pervy. There's a bunch of different kinds, and there's a lot of lizard types, but there's more than one type of lizard type. I met them. They can talk, a lot of them, and it's really plain. It's very just, plain. And they're just there sometimes. Like, they come out and talk, but they usually stay out of sight because everyone's nervous about them in the stands. See, what happened, how it got so weird with me is they brought me there to be used, but I would scream and cry and stuff. So I guess they felt bad for a minute, and they said, "Well, what else are you good for? Can you sing or dance or anything?" So then I started singing this song, because the original time I was there, I thought they were never going to allow me to escape. I'd seen their faces; they're not going to let me go. I'm going to be killed, right? And I thought that it was my real body that I was in, because it feels real. It's very clear. And I sang this song, and someone famous ended up using it, and then they brought me back the next few nights and got me to keep on doing it. I did it more. I just had a good imagination and creativity for making songs, I guess, these melodies for songs. And then it got really out of hand. They just wanted me to keep on making songs, and at first they were impressed, but after making about 20 songs that could be used, then I just pretty much became like a machine for them to use. And it just progressed and kept on going, and then it's actually, by now, it's an absurd amount of songs now. They were using me for about 34 years now, to come up with songs. And the thing is, I was memory suppressed back then. They have the ability to allow people to remember their times there or not. Now, once they allow you to remember, which is usually they let people remember at around 30, like common street level members of this, they let them remember at 30. They call it the awakening. And so then you remember this duality that you've lived, and it's very clear. And yeah, the younger people that are rich Illuminati parents' kids, sometimes they get their memories released to them when they're younger than I was. But yeah, that was the main thing, making songs. And then they wanted me to come up with concepts for movies. They wanted me to sometimes give them advice and just anything. After the songs, they wanted to test me out, see if I was good with other things and everything, even interior home design, as absurd as that sounds. But just anything. And the main thing was songs. But the thing was, after I couldn't come up with songs anymore, I was having more difficulty just thinking them up out of the blue, out of thin air.
Now, one band is Megadeth.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to show the cover of Megadeth, and it's up right now. That you're saying that is you on the cover of Megadeth's album?
It is. I had to pose for it.
Okay. So you've written songs for this band then?
Oh yeah.
All right.
And countless others.
Now, Alan was telling me is that real blood on your shirt?
Oh no, that's like a painting of of a picture.
Gotcha.
But that was actually taken at the cloning center. Like, thing is, as a footnote to that, when I couldn't come up with songs anymore, they tried to scare me with they're going to kill me, they're going to hurt me or something. And then after I still couldn't come up with songs, then they started to torture the clone of me, which feels just as real. And it affects you in real life. It can make you sick. So anyway, during this time, for this picture, well, at cloning, I have ended up looking like that countless times. But for that picture, it was faked. Like, for some reason, they wanted to take a picture of it with the camera, and then whoever made that picture, painted it, or rendered it with computers, he had to look at that picture and then go off of that, because I'd asked them to put my face on albums before, and they always said, no, we can't, that would be proof. And I always put little hints in the songs, in lyrics and stuff, wherever I could, and sometimes they would allow it, sometimes they wouldn't, but there's a lot of hints in songs about, dreams and this and that, because it's not dreaming when you're at cloning. It's totally not dreaming. Illuminati members like that go to cloning, they don't have dreams anymore. They just go and walk around as clones there.
Now, I don't know how many interviews you do, but when you come out and say that you've written songs for these bands, like for example Megadeth, have they ever came back and told you to knock it off, stop saying that, or any of these other groups or artists?
You would think that they would, but they actually avoid me like the plague. And the thing is, some of them get angry at cloning. Like, sometimes the very same night. I'll open up my eyes there, I'll be down in the dirt arena, or I'll be sitting in the stands, and they'll just start talking. Like, I've met Dave Mustaine there. He knows all about cloning. He's been there, right in my face. He's actually beat me up there. Stabbed me and everything. There. But yeah, they never bother me. They don't want to come back and say anything, because then they'll have to open up the entire can of worms.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that, and no one's going to sue me or have me charged for slander or libel or anything like that, because they know it'll come back on them later.
Right. Now let's talk about these people that are down there being cloned. I mean, we're talking obviously rock stars to, famous people, actors, actresses. Why are they? Now we talk a lot here about aliens and Satan and the Illuminati selling your soul to get where you want to get in this business. We talk about a lot of the movie stars and rock stars, like an example, Britney Spears, Katy Perry, Rihanna, all those, and that they have to, that they sold their souls.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, and
they even come right out and say it, and say they're even like, when I'm singing, it ain't me. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's what's her name, Mary Lou, and then they start speaking in a English accent and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is, the selling your soul thing, how it works, like a young woman will be cloned into there, and she'll be told, while memory suppressed, they'll find out if she's going to have ever any possibility of talking or trying to rat on them, right? And if she would, they won't unrepress her memory, and they won't promote and support her and sign her onto anything. That she'll just be left alone. But if she agrees, they say to her, okay, well, you have to basically sign this. I've seen people sign an actual paper. They say you have to sell your soul. We'll make you really famous and stuff, and we get to bang clones of you here, but then your soul is sold. But they don't know, and as they're doing it, they don't know what it involves.
Right.
They classify your soul as being like your consciousness that gets transferred into the clone that is used there. Because a lot of these women, they don't care if they go there and have sex at first as clones with these whoever, because it's a totally separate body and they don't care. They're not getting hurt, but they don't know how long it's going to continue, which is a very long time. And they think that these crazy people talking about selling the souls and stuff, they don't think that has anything to do with anything, and they think that they're just gonna, outsmart these superstitious religious people and sign just a nothing that doesn't involve anything.
Hence, you get a Mickey, or what's her name, Nicki Minaj. Then you get a Nicki Minaj tweet, where she's starting to realize, whoa, Yeah.
Well, there was another girl there, rapper named Cray Sean, said something about cloning. She said, I've seen the cloning centers myself.
Right, and I think I'm going to go ahead and, well, I had that, I actually had that tweet on there too someplace. I showed it last week. Okay, so...
They get in a lot of trouble, though, when they do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the very night, like, this crazy girl, Tila Tequila, she's pretty whack, but she is there. Like, she did a little radio show, an impromptu improvisation. Like, she was supposed to talk about something, evil nobility of this or that or something, and she's at cloning just about every night, getting used, right? And she doesn't want to be anymore, but they will give her, like, her little reality show she did, and promote her for tours for her music and stuff. But she didn't want to do it anymore, and she went on there, and as a surprise thing, she started talking about cloning centers, where all these kids are brought and used, and it happens like every night in this dirt arena. She was told all about it. But then, that very night when she went to sleep, turns out that we must have both went to sleep at around the same time and entered REM phase at around the same time, which is about an hour after you go to sleep, hour and a half, so they say. But they can only activate the clone of you there when you're in total REM sleep. And if you wake up in real life, your clone will drop limp to the floor.
Like
some
Avatar.
of the clones, their broken elbows, smash their heads off the concrete floor, so they always stay seated in the stands in case they ever wake up and they just fall over.
Okay,
and
so
they get stored on a rack.
Right now, for all those people who are listening right now and watching, obviously you're probably thinking, "Man, you guys are totally out there." But Donald Marshall is not the only one talking about this.
Yeah.
All right. If it was just him, and that is it, I would not have him on the show. I mean, that's the truth. I would not have you on the show. But there are more people now talking about this particular subject, and they're telling and they're giving your name, Donald. Like, you're the one who first started it. Now we're going to follow right behind you and spread the word. Is what they're doing.
And then there's the other thing, like the movies and the TV shows, and I mean, they talk blatantly, openly about cloning. I mean, Clone Wars, and I mean, like I was reading something a while back that you were talking about Star Wars, and how some of the lizards in there was the Vril. It's like, man, then I'm like a Star Wars. I play the games and everything, and oh my God, that made me believe you more than anything, because it is so, what would you say, out there in that movie. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing.
It's those long-necked aliens in the Star Wars movie. They would be a representation of a certain type of Vril. I call them Vril Type 3s. Everybody else calls them that too. But those are the best looking kind of ones that you'll find. They would be young ones, but they get real ugly. Like, that's the best looking ones you're ever going to find. They get really, really ugly. They end up looking like Pumpkinhead after a while, which is why they made Pumpkinhead look like Pumpkinhead. They put stuff into movies all the time, like, to pretty much because, well, sometimes they're flaunting their power and stuff. They can, put it out there and nobody does anything. But then other times they're desperate to get the help of the populace to have it questioned and stopped. Because the thing with me, how I can talk about it, they're not going to kill me because I've done like so many songs, right? And they said that it would be really strange to not have me around now, because they're really familiar with me now. Some of them said they're like really attached to me. They wouldn't want to kill me. But other people, they will. Like, I thought they were going to kill me back in like 2012. But then, and they hinted that they would, because they didn't want me to say certain things, but then I just said it all anyway, and then they said, well, we were never going to kill you. You're a very special person in the world. So everyone else is pretty much following along, the ones that are brave enough that are there.
Right. I mean,
talking to corroborate everything.
Right. Talking about this subject matter, who is going to believe you? When we're talking about this, I mean, really, when we're talking sci-fi stuff here, Donald, that I'm, when I turn on the Sci-Fi Channel or go, watch a movie in the theaters, this is the stuff that you're talking about. That's not supposed to be real, man. I mean, this is way far out there. But like I said, you're not the only one talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's what's tripping me out big time. And I know there's more to it than what people really know what's going on out there. I mean, there's a whole different world.
Yeah.
When you were talking about this, and I know, like, I've read everything you've pretty much put out, but and I know you've said it a million bazillion times. Okay, like the types, like they're like the clone types. Like you're talking about now, they're in a higher generation and they're better and they last longer or something like that.
Well, all technologies improve over time. Computers get smaller, cell phones, this and that. All of this stuff, even as whack as it sounds, sci-fi and everything, it's all just technology that they have.
Right.
They don't have magic or anything. Some of them that are superstitious like that, they like to believe there's something to it, but they have no magic. And all that occult witches and goblins stuff that they talk about and stuff, I've been shown so much, and I begged them to show me everything, because if there was any kind of powers to be had, I wanted them. But and they would do. But there's been nothing that I've ever seen. Only science and technology, which could be mistaken for some kind of magic, right?
Sure, if you're like primitive, they would think an airplane is magic. You know what I mean? Like they would worship an airplane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so where are they getting all this technology from then?
Well, they got it. Well, they're getting some of it they found underground in Antarctica and back engineered a bunch of stuff. Like Nazis found it, and then everybody started sharing it around. But there was different pockets of stuff around the world. Like British people found some stuff under England in some spots, but there's different regions of different types of things. Like there's even different kinds of these Vrills that don't even know about each other, and they don't even speak the same language to themselves. They talk in like clicks and gurgles and everything. But some of them are different colors too. Some of them have scales, like the type 1s have scales. But the ones under the Middle East have black scales. The ones under the British Islands are red scales. And they're pretty sick looking. I described them pretty well. They it's supposed to be what people would call a chupacabra. I could describe them well. I already have in other interviews, but they're a real problem. Well, let's see. They for to not beat around the bush or anything, they can literally body snatch people. It's a biological property of their body, and they can take people over and make them what is called a host, a human host.
Yikes.
Now, that's why that movie, The Host, was made. And there's different things like this movie called The Invasion. They're all over the place. In the past, people used to use them to replace people because how they do it, these lizards, I'll try to put it in a nutshell, these certain types of lizards that have the parasitical aspect of their biology, they have this thing in the top of their head that can eject out at one time in their life. It comes out and they can move it like a worm, kind of. Once this thing comes out, which is actually the internals of their spinal cord, once it comes out, it can't go back in, and the old lizard body will die. Now this wormy thing becomes everything that thing is. It's his brain and everything. And they put it into people's eyes. Now these things are small. They're like maybe I've seen some that are 2 feet tall. And the thing that comes out is real small of their head. They can pin somebody down. This thing goes around the eyeball, and then spirals around the optic nerve until it gets to a certain spot in the brain, and then it excretes this parasitical cell compound from it, and it just takes over the brain cell by cell all over, and then they're messed up for like a month. They can't do much of anything. They have to lay in bed and force themselves to sit up and eat, but they get access to the person's memories and everything. Not all memories, though. That's another thing. Sometimes in some movies, like kids will ask their parents. Well, they'll have suspicions about their parents not being them anymore, and then they'll say, "Do you remember that time we took that trip to the Grand Canyon in grade 3?" But they never took that trip, and the parents in the movie will go, "Yeah, that was fun," and then they know, right? It's because they don't get all of the memories. They get a lot of them though, and they just continue to live. They get health problems. Some of them get their fingernails start going weird. They get rashy skin. They also get some kind of a thyroid problem, where the thyroid doesn't make this chemical that we all need, and they have to take something called Synthroid for like hypothyroidism or something, and most of them have that problem. But it's easy to medically test to see who is a host and who's not. It's like you'd need a blood test or something, but it's very obvious.
Now,
but there's a lot of them. They're in the government and everything.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of people that go missing, all over the world.
I was thinking that too. Like we interviewed a guy. I don't know if you're familiar. His name is David Paulides, and he has these books called Missing 411, and mostly it's children, and they have certain criteria, in order to get in his book, but it would be like around Yosemite National Park, all these different places that he's noticed, like clusters, areas where children come up missing. And I mean, it could be like a family outing, and the kid gets just out of sight, and then bam, gone, right? And
you know what?
Yeah, and I think that what you're talking about might shed a lot of light on this.
Well, there's a few different things that happens. The things that I've seen, like I've seen a couple of these kids that have gone missing, and what happens to them? Well, they get taken to be used for sex underground, of course, by either aliens or clones that are in this place, or real people that manage to get to these bases and go down to, mess with them. Some of them, they get eaten, though. They get literally eaten. Not by people, well, sometimes, but by aliens and stuff. They get eaten, literally eaten. Sometimes they just drain the blood out of them. Sometimes they eat the solids too. But see, some of the aliens, their favorite parts of solids, for the ones that do eat solids, some just drink blood, but the ones that eat solids, their favorite is brains and pancreas. They told me before themselves, they said pancreas to them tastes like cantaloupe.
Whoa.
Like, totally. Their sense of taste is so much different than ours.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, bad smells good to them. Like, they even like human excrement. It tastes like candy to them, depending on what the person's been eating. Yeah, they eat it. To them, it smells like flowers. Really, it's pleasant. They like it. It's like a treat to them.
I heard they get like a buzz off of like they scare the kid, right?
Oh yeah,
something like that, right? They scare him and then get a buzz.
Well, the thing is, you can do that with other people too. But when people get scared, and animals and stuff, like they put out adrenaline, adrenal glands, and then this does something through the blood that makes it taste richer to them. And thing is, the reason they go to eat kids a lot is because kids don't have as many vaccinations, because some of these vaccinations can make them sick, and kids aren't smokers. They don't like the blood of smokers because it tastes, to them, they said it does taste like an ashtray or something in with the blood.
Sweet. I'm start smoking.
Yeah, and they get a strange effect from the adrenaline. It gives them like a buzz. Like, some of them have called it bliss. They call it bliss, is the word for the blood with the adrenaline in it.
When they clone somebody, what exactly do they take from the host itself? Just blood, DNA, and that's it, or tissue, or?
Well, back in the past, it had to be tissue, but and then they would have to agitate the tissue. They said it was very, very simple. That you agitate the tissue a certain amount, and then it's just sets to multiplying the cells. Like, they told me themselves, the best way to explain it is, you have a hangnail on your finger. You pull that hangnail off, and a clear liquid inside starts to form, and then eventually new skin over it, might scab over or something, right? And then new skin and everything. That's white blood cells, right? The healing part. Well, when they get the piece of tissue in the past and agitate it a certain amount of times, they put it in this other liquid, like petri dish, and it just sets to healing and healing and healing and healing. And after a time, after they monitor it, it can make an entirely another person, but they have to manipulate it a bit, make sure that the bones are going to go straight and stuff. I'm not sure of it. I'm not like a biologist or anything, but it's not like it's not as complicated as people would think. They said it's very simple, actually.
Wow. Well, the
And
technology.
it doesn't even cost that much, just the maintenance, because it just grows by itself. You know.
So, we've been talking about the cloning thing now going on for about 3 weeks now since we wanted to get you on. And people have been doing their research and finding things on their own. Friend of ours, Eddie, he actually sent me over a YouTube video. And this YouTube video, anybody, I would place the video on the screen right now, but I don't want to take a chance and get anything lost. I don't want to lose anything, but I'm going to play you the audio. You guys can go to YouTube and just Google Katy Perry get slimed. Now, everybody who watches this show knows that I have something for Katy Perry. Even my wife knows, but they're at the Nickelodeon Awards, right? And Katy Perry and Jonas, God, I forgot his name. His first name is Jonas, I think. Are up, and they're going to present the award to somebody. But listen to what Jonas said, and you're going to be able to hear it. Listen to this.
Birthday boy.
Okay, I lied. It's not really my birthday. In fact, I have a confession to make to you guys.
What?
I've never told anybody this before in my life. It's kind of a sensitive subject. I was born without a birthday.
Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I know, I'm a birthdayless freak. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm sorry I lied. I think it's only fair that you open the box and reveal the winner.
Okay, that is just weird for him to say. I was born without a birthday. And that
sounds like cloning.
Yeah, it sounds like cloning, and it just so happens that he happened to be standing right near to Katy Perry, who has said a couple of times that she has sold her soul. All right, and anybody can go and watch this on YouTube. Just search Katy when Katy gets slimed at the Nickelodeon Awards, and hear him say that. They're giving us hints, aren't they, Donald? Everywhere.
All the time.
All
It's
the
like
time,
a funny
right?
little pastime.
Now, but you said the reason is because they just want to throw it in our faces and say, hey, we're doing this behind your backs, or actually in front of you, and we're hinting. Is it because they want to condition us, or is it just because they're just having fun with us, or are they supposed to tell us?
It's two reasons. One, sometimes these people are literally a host, or there's even more. There's a way to cheat death and continue life as a clone too. But the people that do that, they don't want it to be found out about. They want Illuminati to continue, the cloning centers to continue, right? So they throw it out in the faces to show off, and then they'll all talk about it at cloning later on and laugh about it and people's reactions. But then there's other people, like Katy Perry. I've talked to her so many times at cloning. I helped her make songs there.
Well, hey man, you got to tell her to come on the show.
Yeah. She might not even be your actual human being, dude.
I don't care. No, I'm just saying by phone or by Skype. We'll talk about it behind the doors, all right?
Well, the second reason is that's pretty much the only way that someone would be permitted to talk without being punished for it. And the people that don't want to be there anymore, that are hoping for some kind of rescue, they can put out these hints in a hope against hope that someone is going to put the pieces of the puzzle together and en masse demand to know what's happening, from the government or military or whatever. But it has to be done in large numbers, because these people seem pretty hopeless, because it's such a powerful thing. And they're kind of all dependent on me, all these desperate people that want out,
right,
want their souls back, right? They want me to be successful, but they they know I'm going to be pretty mad because I got tortured there a lot, and it has affected me, but I'm still alive, and gave me bad health effects.
Sure, let's talk about that. You've been out there spreading the word, but you're not making any money. You're not writing books. You're not, you're not doing any of that. We're not compensating you for this show tonight. And it's like you're out there telling people what you say is going on, and you might, and if this is for real, which a lot of people seem to think it is, and so far you got some proof backing you up, man, that you can easily be taken out, dude. And obviously you told us why and why not, possibly, maybe, but you're not making trillions of dollars doing interviews, because you're not. I have never seen a book.
Like you're not Alex Jones, you know what I mean? But only you haven't changed your story. You've kept going through, and probably have paid for it a little bit more than what you would like.
Oh yeah, they punished me for saying things that they didn't want me to say. Then they told me, we'll get you way worse if you say any more, and I just do anyway. And it's hard to put it all into words because it was such a long time, right? After they had been torturing me to come up with these songs, or else, right? Then it became, well, there's nothing to do at cloning actually either. Like, after you do the death sports, sword fighting, and there's a lot of sex and stuff going around there. After all that, it really loses the novelty really, really quick. And then you're just sitting there. You see, the celebrities, people like to talk to the celebrities and say hi and everything, but they run out of material to talk about. And that's it. Like, little meet and greet with so many different people, and I mean, they're all there. Like Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, they're all there. Lady Gaga, they are all there. They all sit around next to each other in the stands. And then there's ground level people that aren't famous, that some of them are rich people, some of them aren't. Then there's all the politicians that are there. And the thing is, the torturing stuff, they started, when I couldn't come up with songs for a time, they would replace that time, because I was kind of like a spectacle there. They were all literally in awe of how I could come up with these songs. And I don't even know how I did it, but did. And let's see, they started to have me in like a torture spectacle. They would like strap me up to a cross, chain me up to a poster, hang me by the arms with cables from the ceiling of this big sports venue looking place. Then they would like torture me, and they would just sit there and watch me screaming. And they were all, well, some people were into it. They were like, oh, that's cool, we're so powerful, nobody can do anything to us. But then the other people that didn't actually like it, they have to play along like they do like it, or else they're going to be looked down upon by the rest, or they won't benefit by being promoted and endorsed. Or people would maybe suspect that they might try to talk or something, and then who knows what's going to happen to them. Like a good example is Chris Benoit, the wrestler. He supposedly, well, he did. He took out his wife and child, and then himself. But that was all due to cloning. Like he didn't just go insane or anything. He was trying to prevent his family from going there to get tortured. He tried to tell people about it too. He's like, but he didn't know what it was. He said, okay, somehow I'm getting blapped into an alternate reality or another dimension or something, and people are killing me there, and there's aliens there, and I'm not crazy. Nobody believed him. That's another thing about Tila Tequila. I wish I could find this video, but it's not anywhere that I can find it anymore. Before she had her aneurysm that time, which is what they did it. If you have a constant electric shock applied to your clone, you will have a heart attack or an aneurysm eventually. Depending on how old you are, faster if you're older, you'll die faster. But Tila went on video at some point, and she said, "Yeah, you guys got to help me. I'm being zapped into another dimension somehow. I don't know how when I'm sleeping, and Queen Elizabeth is there. She sometimes eats people there, and there's demons, which she means aliens, like because demons are aliens. That's just another word for them. They have lots of names." But then she had an aneurysm through the night there, that same night. But she uploaded that video, or was it 2 nights after that? I don't know, but that was the cause. But then after that, she survived, only because they let her survive. And then after that, she didn't say much or anything for a long time, until the Clone Center radio show that she put out, which was really cool. But after that night, they got her there and said, "What the hell are you doing?" Right? And she goes, well, Donnie says it, he's going to be fine." I said, "You're not Donnie, though." And then they said, "This guy wants to talk to you about this." So this big Vril Type 3 comes stomping out, those long-necked ones. But this one was older and more ugly, and it came out and it screamed in her face, like she was down standing in the dirt. And it came up to her, 2 or 3 inches from her face, nose to nose, and just started screaming in her face. And it's pretty freaky. Mind you, she didn't, scream or cry or anything. It was very impressive. Her hair was flying back. From the thing's breath. It's like, rah! Right, screaming in her face. It went on for a while. And she just stood there and stared at it. I was impressed. Because the things there are very, very scary. Like, imagine Pumpkinhead from that movie, the horror movie Pumpkinhead.
Right.
This thing was right in front of her face, screaming, and she just stood there. And, well, she looked scared, but she didn't let it show or anything. I was impressed.
Wow.
I watched it. I sat in the stands and watched it when it happened.
How long, how long has this been happening? Like, we know about it's happening now, but I mean, how far back? Does this go all the way back to Egyptian days and prior to Egyptian days? I mean,
well, they were in Egypt, ancient Egypt times, yeah. They've always been around. Vrils and other different things, they've always been around. And flying saucers and all that, that's nothing new. It's an old thing. Made better with modern technology, like a gyro. What they put in the Segways, so Segways will stay up and stable.
Right.
They started putting those in UFOs too, because UFOs in the past, they would be kind of floppy, and they would go, they didn't have very much horizontal stability. But now with including a gyro in it, it'll be pretty stable. Well, I knew from what they were telling me and from what they showed me, because I made them prove everything to me. And I never ever assume or guess or have theories of my own, because if I'm ever wrong, it's not going to be good. So I only ever really mention things that I know for certain are true. Because, if it was ever wrong, it would be a recipe for disaster with what I'm trying to do here, which is all good. My intentions are pure. Like, as you said, I'm not looking for financial gain or even fame.
Okay, my next question. Since you were talking about aliens and demons.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about supernatural religion here. We talk about religion here on this show. So where do you? Okay, where I'm going with this is Satan, Lucifer, the devil. Are aliens from outer space, or are these aliens have always been underground, or are there aliens visiting us as well? Are there more than one?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, I was raised Catholic, baptized and everything.
And I told you I was too.
The thing is, the Pope is at cloning. The ex-Pope is at cloning. There's bishops at cloning. There's cardinals from the Vatican that are at cloning, like a lot of them. And they sit around. Some of them participate in nasty things, just from what I've seen. Maybe all of them do. I've only seen a few doing things, but they all sit around. They all get told what to do. They know all about aliens. They've spoken to them there. There's ones from underground. There's a lot of stuff underground. Like, I'm not certain of everything that's down there, though, because I haven't been down there. Like, I've been in bases and stuff, but I never ran around in caverns and hollow earth or anything. But they say that that's what it's like, but, you know, I'd have to have things proven to me before I believe anything. But I didn't know, but there are things from space, too. A lot of the aliens are lizard in biology, but there's like, I've met like 6 or 7 different kinds that are just lizard kind. But the thing is, there's birds and lizards are very closely related, and there's a certain kind, these Anunnakis, right? They have different names too, draconians and everything. Some of them are like half bird, half lizard. Like, this is what David Wilcox was saying, that he was going to lie too. He never ever comes back at me and tries to say that, you know, I'm making this up about him. Me and him met there. We spoke. Like, I spoke to many of these truthers, and there's a lot of them there. They wanted me to be all down in this plan where, well, some of them want to do the right thing and tell the truth about everything, but they'd be killed, right? And, well, a lot of them have seen aliens. Like, David Wilcock has seen this really, really tall lizard bird type that says that his name is Ammon Ray. People think that I thought it was Ammon Ra my entire life. It's not. He told me himself, it's Ray. And I told him, I'm like, it sounds so much cooler being Ra, though. He goes, it's Ray, though. He doesn't have much of a sense of humor.
Is that the bird one that you see in the what is it, like the blue, the head of a bird and a body of a...
Oh, yeah, that's not an accurate depiction. I should have had, like, maybe some pictures done or something, but there's an accurate picture of him himself and other ones. There are these ancient Sumerian rock carvings that are really, really detailed, and they look just like that. Now, mind you, some of them look more bird, and some of them look more lizard, and some of them are a mix of the two. Like, some of them have like a big beak like that, but some of them have like a elongated snout with like a small little beak on the end. It looks really weird. They used, and when they get old, because they live way longer than humans, because lizard physiology lives longer, like, when they get old, they get really, really ugly. And the thing is, they're ashamed of their appearance, right? They even put some old ones, what old ones look like, in the movie called The Dark Crystal, with that Jim Henson made.
Oh, I remember that.
Those Skeksis.
Yeah.
They end up looking like those Skeksis. Their feathers come out, they fall out, and the gravity is hard on them. They get all stooped over like that, and they look just like that when they're old. Some worse than others, but they put different stuff in movies all the time. There's something that kind of resembles a Drill Type 1, Slee Stack or something.
Oh man, I was just, dude, I was just thinking Land of the Lost. I was going to bring it up to you right now.
Yeah, they got those pointy things in the middle of their head. That's
right.
Supposed to be like Representative Proboscis thing that comes out that goes in people's eye.
Oh my God.
By the way, that's why they cover up the eye. By the way, there.
Oh,
See,
the
after
Illuminati
that happens,
eye.
the eye covering thing the Illuminati does, and then they go, shh.
Yeah.
Now you know the reason they're doing that. It's like, don't get the thing in your eye, and shh. Don't tell anybody you know about the things that stick the things in your eye, because you might get a thing in your eye.
Man,
Or get killed.
there's a movie star that he did a movie and his eye was all jacked up.
Yeah.
Man, what was his
Nicolas
name?
Cage?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, and
Yeah, he had to do the entire movie with one of his eyeballs like blown out from a gunshot wound or something.
right, yeah.
Now the reason he did that, it's
Because
not
he
even
hasn't-
like
he
that
hasn't been
anymore.
the
So
same.
maybe he's a clone all the time now. But when they do this, when the Vril Type 1 take over a person and do that in the eye, sometimes, not every time, sometimes it makes the eye, well, the brain and back of the eye swells, right? And then sometimes permanently one of the eyes will become a little bit bugged out and more pronounced than the other one, which happens sometimes to people anyway. Sometimes some people just aren't totally symmetrical.
Right.
But,
Bill Cosby,
With him, his eye was bulged out. Like,
Yeah.
he couldn't have been able to do the movie like that. And so they came up with that and did that. But it's
I had a couple of things in chat. There's somebody, they were saying in these centers there's dead stars, like people that's been dead, like the Beatles, and there'll be the live Beatles and the dead Beatles, and they're there, right?
yeah.
Are the
I've
dead
met a
ones
lot of them.
are they clone like say Elvis or something? Are they the clone of Elvis or the Beatle or Michael Jackson or whatever? Or are they
Well,
just
That's the third important aspect and topic of what I wanted to tell you guys. There's a way to cheat death, but it's flawed. They discovered this, like billionaires, even in ancient Egyptian times, they wanted to figure out how to cheat death, live forever, because billionaires can't take their money with them.
right? Yeah.
So they wanted to live forever. So a bunch of billionaires got together, hired on like 10,000 scientists, and got them to figure out how to perfect this cloning stuff so they could live again. But living in a clone is not as good. You're not mentally stable as a clone. That's why they have these handlers, babysitters, right? So they don't freak out. And but there's something else they figured out. Well, you must have heard people that saying they have microchips in their heads and stuff.
Right, chip head.
Like one of this people, what was her name? Crazy girl movie star said something about she got a chip in her head. Well, a bunch of them did, really. And it's true. But there's different kinds of chips. There's not only one chip. There's different chips with different functions. And the most important one that they got is what they call the Soul Stone chip. Now they can record your consciousness, everything that you are. Basically, they can record it on this microchip, size of an apple seed. Now, they can take this chip, and what they used to do is drill a hole in the back of a person's head, and then put the chip on a stainless steel rod, and have a rangefinder and like a half compass so they can tell the angle and everything. And they go into us, they push it in through the back of the head, through that drilled hole, through the brain tissue, which is brain damaging, obviously.
Right.
And then it gets to a certain depth, and then the chip is left there. And then they just get like a remote control, like the one from you would see from like a TV or something, it looks like. They point that at the person and press a button. Well, they then become that person. Like, they can body snatch that way. Just in a different way than what I was telling you about the lizards that body snatch.
Right.
This is a technological way to body snatch, and the other one is a biological. But they do this. The thing is, for some reason they stopped going in through the back of the head. Now what they can do, you must have wondered. People come out and they say, I'm chipped. I've been chipped. But they don't know how. Well, it happens in hospitals, even. People that go under anesthetic, sometimes they have their eyeball taken out, and it comes out and it's still attached. It's hanging off with the optic nerve that goes in and connects it, right? They can take it right out, and it's out. But then they put that chip on a rod, and then behind the eye, they find the rangefinder to go back there, and they just push it right in through your eye guts, the eye socket, and it goes into the brain from that angle, and then you don't have a little bald dot in the back of your head, or a hole in your skull. And I think the distance to travel is shorter too, to get to like the thalamus or the hypothalamus area of the brain that it has to get to. But that also, well, then they put your eyeball back in, and you wake up after your appendicitis or appendectomy, or get your tonsils out or whatever. You wake up and your eye hurts. And you say, "Oh my God, what's wrong with my eye? My head hurts so bad." And then they say, "Oh, it's just a side effect of the anesthetic." And what do you know, right? You know no better.
I don't know if you've heard this before, but in a lot, we do like alien abduction things, talk to people and stuff that have been abducted. Yeah. And one of the things that is like happens a lot is they talk about while they're abducted, they have their eye pulled out.
Oh yeah.
Well, maybe they're not being abducted.
I can tell you about what most alien abductions are. Well, they clone people in while they're asleep, and people, it's very real to people, and they get messed with. A lot happens when they get brought. It's like horror movie porn to them. There's a large archive of video of people being cloned in and strapped down to a table and messed with by, well, sometimes they actually are aliens, but some of the other times it's just people with really, really good masks. Hollywood quality. They've even, as I've written before, they even get chicken skin, dye the chicken skin gray, and stretch it over a wooden mask that will make them look like a big gray alien, right? And it looks very ultra realistic. Hollywood quality, like horror movie prop stuff. And the thing is, they're still safely in their beds at home. They were never taken. Like some people, they set up a camera to watch them sleep because they figured they were getting abducted, taken out of their house, teleported even. They don't know how that was happening. They didn't even know it was clones. They thought it was their real body because it feels real. It was very clear. It'd be very easy to get fooled that way. So they set up a camera. They go to sleep. Blink. They get zonked into the cloning center. Consciousness transfer into the clone. And they're like, "Oh, good. I got the camera set up though. Whatever happened, I'm going to see it when they bounce me back." They go back and they were sleeping in their bed the entire night, of course, right?
Right.
And then they can't explain it. But now you know.
Now, is there like a machine they have whenever they take your conscious? Who's the guy controlling that thing, or how do they do that?
They have it pretty down now. When the clones aren't being used, like remember I told you they go limp and fall.
Right, like Avatar.
They get dragged out of the auditorium and taken below on a dolly, or just somebody throws somebody over their shoulder and takes them down to the racks. The racks are like multiple stainless steel bunk beds, sometimes 5 high, and they're all around. It's like a giant vampire crypt or something. There's all these bodies laying there.
Wow.
Well, I don't even know how the things live because they even when not in use, they still breathe shallow and the heart still beats and stuff. Now, when not in use, they put a tube down the clone's throat, a feeding tube, and you get fed this beige nutritional supplement, right? And when they come out, when they wake up and stuff, like when I've opened up my eyes there, they've already done it for me, and sometimes I'm clothed and already out somewhere, sitting somewhere, and then they activate me. But what they do on the rack, there's like a bunch of lights, and if the light is green, it means that this person is in full REM sleep right now and can be activated. So they go over, just like a TV remote control looking thing, look over and they point at him and press a button, usually they have one designated to just that person, tuned in on just them. And then the person just goes, looks around, and like me, I say, damn, I'm in this place again. But some of them are so used to it, and some of them like going there and hanging around there. They're so used to it, they pull this transparent tube right out of their mouth, and they hop off the bunk, and they're like, so, what are we doing tonight? And then they walk out. They're naked too sometimes. They don't even care. Not bashful. They have no shame really at all. But they're depending on me to do as much as I can to expose this and put an end to it.
Right.
Because I'm like one of the only ones in the world, maybe the only one in the world, that they won't outright kill. Because I've done so much stuff. Like you must assume he means a lot of songs, right? But it's actually 10 times more than what you even are thinking. It was a ridiculous amount of songs. And other things too, like just ideas for movies, concepts, and toy ideas, video game ideas, designs for different things. Man, so much stuff that if I even said all, it would sound absurd.
More outrageous, yeah. Yeah, but like they kind of ripped you off. I mean, like
kinda.
They could have gave you like 10% of it. Like I would say, you know what? I'll shut up if you give me 50%.
Yeah.
Well, something like
then
that.
they'd all be pissed off because I didn't know it, but they want me to do this.
Right.
But
They want me to succeed.
Now, why do they want you to succeed, though? I mean, if I was the Illuminati, I mean, I would prevent you from doing this interview tonight that we're doing. I mean, I would have stopped you somehow.
Well, I did one a little while ago, and a few of them didn't want me to do it, and I did it anyway, and then they ended up beating me up and stabbing me a few times out there. Which, what it does to you in real life, if they did it consistently, like all the time, you'd die. You'd have a heart attack or an aneurysm. That's why it works with the electricity, because that's constant on you. But with me, they were just doing that as like a deterrent to get me to not mention some things and maybe leave a few things out. But I don't do that. I just, tell it all. And, they try to act like they're angry and punish me and stuff, but it seems like most of the time they're trying to look for an excuse to harm me anyway, because there's nothing to do there. And it's an activity, like a spectacle, torture show type of thing.
Right.
It's
Now,
pretty sick.
now these underground bases. We have underground bases all over the world. Are our military, like for example, we live in Fresno, California. All right, that's where we're from, and I believe there are several underground bases here. Okay,
Yeah,
and a lot of people go missing here in the mountains just east of us.
Yeah, they're brought down there.
And I've had people way before we even knew you existed. I'm talking like 2001, 2002. There are, if you go Google, like the Madera area, you'll actually some people actually wrote in some articles about underground caverns and reptilian, dude. All right.
Yeah, I heard a few.
And that's why I'm tripping out, because this was brought to my attention long before I knew you existed on reptilians underground.
And nobody believed them.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, people might have believed them, some people, but what is one person supposed to do? Right.
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Some people are afraid.
Sure. So, these underground reptilian race that, live underneath us, we've heard about that a lot. And it just blowing me away that, I don't know, it's hard. I'm listening to you, Donald, and it's like, man, it's like I want to believe so bad, but I'm thinking back to what Nicki Minaj and B.O.B. Why would those guys risk their lives, their professionalism, where they're at right now to even say something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm tripping out. I mean, these guys are making millions of dollars, Nikki and B.O.B., and they're very famous people, and all of a sudden they are talking about cloning centers.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I've gotten into talking to Bob every once in a while now. Thing is, before I talked to him, I thought he's must be allowed to. They are going to allow him to say it for some reason, either to corroborate me, to help me, or just to maybe make them more famous or something.
Well, see,
but
that's
Nicki Minaj erased her tweet there. She erased it.
Right. Now, see, that's just it, though. It's like, what would be the sole purpose of letting you and B.O.B., the rapper, continue talking about cloning centers?
Yeah, but what if money isn't everything? You know what
Well,
I mean?
well, it's not money.
You have all the money and fame and glory, but only then every night they're raping you.
Well, I realize that.
Like, how long before nothing would matter to you except for getting away from the raping? Or
not even just the raping, the things that they have to witness, the horrible, gory details of watching people being murdered and stuff, because it's not only just clones that get killed there. Sometimes they get a real person down there and watch them grim faces of death spectacle.
Wow.
Like
and then
little
eat
kids
them.
too, right? And some people that are at cloning, they are religious, and they can't be down with that, but they would expose it, but it's probably going to mean their life. And other people have already tried to do that and died. Like some guy named Phil Schneider.
Yeah.
He was telling the truth. I didn't even know about this guy, and I didn't even know he was dead. I tried to write him and said, "Dude, I know all about that stuff too. You're there." And he told all about it. He said, "Down underground, there's these things." I was a geologist expanding an underground base. I went down there and they were all there, and I had to get out of there. The thing was, they allowed him to see that. Where he was expanding the base to, they knew that those caverns were full of drills, and they wanted them to be seen. And then they wanted him to go out and talk about it, which he did, but to very little effect, right? People just didn't believe him. Lizard aliens on the ground, really? Right? That's why I was a little bit discouraged when I was first going to start doing this. So I thought they were going to kill me right away, but I'll do one big shebang and hope that it, helps the Earth. Right. That was my prime motivation, do the right thing as a human being, which I'm still doing.
Wow.
And
you're not scared? I mean, obviously, do you have a family? Do you have, are you married? Do you have any kids?
Just about all of them are all dead. But a lot of them were at cloning too. Like, my mother sold me out to this place. Basically sold my soul to hell. She just died like 5 years ago or something. Lung cancer and stuff. But, I don't miss her. But she was at cloning too. And she's telling me, and I was like, I don't know who you people are. I don't have to do what you're saying. Like, I know that because I would get killed there as a kid sometimes. But then I would wake up the next day, not remember it, and I would think I didn't remember what I dreamt the night before. It would just be all black. I didn't think anything of it. I went to school. But then the next time I was at cloning, I started to figure it out, because I didn't know what a clone was at like 5 and 6 years old, of course. And, well, these days with the advent of Star Wars and stuff, all the kids know what a clone is now.
Yep.
But I didn't back then. But then I would recall the previous time I was there, and I got stabbed to death and died. Everything faded to black and died. But here I am again, and there's no stab wounds in this new clone. And I am not dead. There's not a scar either. So, and I didn't know how they were doing it. I thought that it was magic or something when I was that young. But then I started to realize they can only do so much to me here. Even if they were to kill me as a clone at this place, which I didn't know it was a clone, I'm like, I'm just going to live anyway, just like the last couple of times, and come back anyway. And so then I started getting a little saucy there, and defiant, and they liked that. They thought that was cool. They thought it was brave. They were impressed. But yeah. So then I figured out over the years what it was. I used to see all the clones are dumber. Nobody's clone is as smart as their real anchor person. They call it an anchor in the world that you draw the consciousness from while they're in REM sleep. Now, everyone at cloning is a little dumb, me included, to a certain degree. And some of them would be so immature, they'd tell me they could do something with a really wacky technology. And I'd say, I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you. And they go, oh yeah? We'll show you. And they did. They would. They showed me all kinds every time, and then they would show me, and I'd say, wow, that is amazing. And they said, yeah, we told you it's real. Like a little kid, you know? Like they were little kids, like, oh, we told you so, right? So weird. The whole place is weird. But, yeah, it's pretty, really scary horror movie stuff there.
Right.
Real pervy.
So let's talk about some famous movie stars who have recently either died mysterious ways, or are being attacked by, for example, Bill Cosby. All right.
Yep.
The Illuminati. I know the Illuminati is after him for a certain reason. I think he's coming out and he's talking against, our government. There are people who have died, like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. What were the reasons why they died? Did they want to get out?
Different reasons for each one of them, really. I'm familiar with each one. Well, for one thing, did you see Bill Cosby's eye?
Yeah.
Not pretty.
No.
And it might just not be anything to do with that, but hey. He's been at cloning. Michael Jackson's been at cloning. I used to talk to him when I was a little kid. I thought it was really cool at first, but until I realized what he's like and what he's supposed to be, Michael Jackson isn't even dead. His body died, yeah. Okay, I'll tell you about in sequence. Let's see, the Bill Cosby thing. He supposedly did it. They said this there. He was, giving them pills and stuff, and, that's... A lot of people have done that in the past. He's just a high-profile person that got caught with it. But it's not like they're trying to mess him up or something. It's just that he got caught up by multiple people or something, and they can't make it go away. So, but they like him there. Now, Michael Jackson, he wanted to die. He wanted to go to the next body of some kind because he was doing this stuff called Propanol, this injectable painkiller of some kind, and I guess it's really good feeling, but he was doing it all the time, like every day, and it started to mess him up. It gave him premature arthritis because he would lay around all day getting this stuff, and it messed him up, and he didn't want to get old anyway, and he supposedly, from what they told me, and from what I saw, although that could have been a trick of using clones, that wasn't even a real nose. He had this psychosis about his nose being big, which it was, but and he couldn't get a nose job because for some reason his nose holes, they'd have to really chop them up. But he reduced it in size, reduced it, but then after a while it started getting all messed up, so it was just removed. Now, he had a hole there. It was just a cavity, like what you would see on a skull or something. What it was a rubberized, realistic looking plug nose that would go on. It was like a clip-on nose. And then he had a hole where, like, you could see the incision all the way around, and he would fill that up with putty and makeup and stuff and walk around like that. But it was not even a real nose. It was cosmetic attachment, prosthetic. Now, he's still alive though. Like his body died. Michael Jackson's body died, but he's still running around. He's back in the next body. He's supposed to be over in like Bahrain or Dubai or something in the Middle East somewhere. Whitney Houston. What do I know about her? Let's see. I remember the night she was there. She was all frantic in the middle of the dirt, and I was sitting in the stands this night, which is, better than being down in the dirt arena down there. And everybody was laughing and yelling and pointing at her, and I was like, what's going on? And I don't know, they think I'm a real big deal because all the songs, everybody likes at least a few of them because there's so many of them, right? And so I was like, what's this? What's going on? And somebody said, she's in trouble. She doesn't want to do music anymore. She doesn't want to go on the stage anymore at all. And I'm like, so? Let her retire. I don't know, she's getting old, isn't she? And I seen her back when I was a little kid too. I helped her with making songs. And at first, she was nice. But then, just like how it goes with most of them, they start getting mean over time with money and fame and stuff. They turn into like a different person. Well, she was all frantic and everything, and I was like, calm down. I was like, well, not like you're going to kill her or something. And then everybody goes silent. Like, the whole place is filled. It's like a mini stadium, this thing. Small sports venue, like dog and pony show. And she's like, they might kill me because I don't want to do this stuff. And I said, well, you're human. Who cares? I mean, you're not an alien, so who cares? Because I don't give a damn about an alien. Like a parasited host human, I don't care about those things. Kill them all, right? They don't like I say that, but oh well, it's the truth. Most people don't care about those things. A parasited host is a host. Everybody knows what a host is. It's not a symbiotic relationship. Nothing is left of the previous human. Previous human is dead. But then they said that she wasn't even actually a human. She was, something weird. And I was like, oh well, I don't care. And then everybody laughed, and she was all frantic and stuff. And I was like, what are you telling me about this for? I don't care. And anyway, then she ended up dead. They never did anything to her that night from what I could see. But then, like, days following later, see on the news, oh, she's dead now. And I was like, wow, I guess it was true then. But they have done this. Like, what's that other one? Her name, from the Fugees, Lauryn Hill. She was all for going to cloning and doing what they do there, as long as she made money and got famous, right? After she did, she wanted out then, and but they don't let people go, and so she started crying all the time when she was there. I can't be in this. I don't want to be in this anymore. I didn't know what it involved when I said that I would join, and so she's crying and everything, and that it was like a downer to them. She really made quite a spectacle of herself, crying and the snot hanging out of her face, everything. It was really pathetic looking. And so then she made this song called I Get Out. You guys hear about that? It was like really tugged at the heartstrings, right? Well, she's like, I get out, and I forget the rest of it. But she whined about it so much at cloning, they eventually let her get out. It was rare. It was just because they didn't want to hear it, see it anymore. Like, she went on and on and on. So they just let her leave.
Do they have any plans for, like, to take over completely and let everybody know, like, come above board with it and make it a known thing, or they just want to keep themselves secret forever?
No, they want it to come out, but there's a lot of factors to it, right? Because you got all the hosts and stuff, and people are going to want to wipe them across the planet. And it might be what these FEMA coffins are for, And, I'm all for that, wipe the hosts. But then there's also the dead people on ship that are either in a clone or they've stolen someone's body with the chip, right?
Yeah.
They don't know what's going to happen to them, and they don't want to be regarded as a host and wiped right along with the host. And they don't know how they're going to be treated once that's known. And also the people that have been doing all these disgusting things to people, torturing people for sport, and hell, raping children, they know that that's going to be known about eventually, because
Right.
once it's safe to talk about, it's going to be a giant rat fest. Everybody's going to be ratting on each other. Nobody likes each other there. They don't hang and stuff. They go there and they act like they're friends with each other, but they don't hang. Like, they're not friends with each other. They're embarrassed. They don't like to even look at each other in the face in real life, because they know what they've been up to and what they've been doing. But they don't want stuff to be known that they've done either. Like, I've detailed individual actions and events that have been there, and then I go to cloning and they're all mad at me, like Beyonce or something. And it's just, why did you say that about me? You just ruined my life. And I'm like, I don't know, you shouldn't mess with me. And they're not going to kill me, so there's only so much they can do. But they can't deter me, because I already got tortured a bunch, and it was looking like I was going to die anyway back in 2012. So I pretty much was resigned to the fact that I was doomed. Right? I accepted it. I thought, I'm dead. I'm dead. Other people get killed. They're probably going to kill me for sure. So, I'll do what I can. I'll be remembered well as a hero in the future, and at least the stuff will be stopped.
Right.
And maybe I can avoid having myself brought back after death for God knows what.
And you're still alive.
Yeah, it would suck.
Look, I
They got
remember
this thing, if they really hate someone, it's like the band name of the same name, Megadeth. They can do something. It's another deterrent for even brave people, And it's like, I guess, going to hell. Basically, they can bring you back to life after you're dead, have you reactivated into clone after clone, and just killed one after the other. And there's no waking up and in your bed the next day, because you don't have an anchor body anymore. You just keep going one after the other, getting killed and killed and killed. Even though in the past, when they have tried to do this to someone, they get bored of it after a time, right? The person's screaming and stuff, and it's just the same thing over and over again. So then eventually they stop, but they make people watch sometimes to use that as a deterrent. And they also watch murder videos. They call them snuff films. They have big screens at the cloning center where they can get these murder videos, and they'll sit around watching them. And some people don't like watching them, some people do. But the ones that don't like watching them, they don't even say that they don't like it. They just sit there and watch it. They're so scared.
Right.
But they're all hanging on the edge of their seats, well, most of them, wishing that I could end it quicker, because I'm kind of a big hope for them, because I'm not going to be killed, and they can't deter me with their threats and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like the wild card that can talk about this, which I am. I've been doing it as much as I can, and as you were saying, I'm not getting paid. I'm not writing a book, selling tickets to a seminar or anything like your David Icke and stuff, those guys. And so that's a good indication to people that something's different about me, right?
Right. All right, Donald. Well, hey, you know what? That's 90 minutes, man. It went really quick, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's get you on again in the near future, and I want you to update us on anything that you find out underground, or anything that you want to tell us, our fans around the world about. By all means, get a hold of us. Get a hold of me.
And your fans now.
Yeah. And let's keep doing this, and I'm sure the more you get out there, the more these rappers and rock stars and actors are going to come out, and let's keep tabs on the ones that whack out, because those are probably the ones who are losing it, who are clones. We're kind of like keeping a tab on things on this end.
Yeah. Good.
And let's keep on going. And if you can get a hold of Tequila, if we can get her on the air, that would be cool. But let's keep spreading
See
the
what I
word.
can do.
Yeah, see if you can get a hold of her and see if she can come on. We'd like to have her on as well.
She loves Danny or Donnie. She loves you.
Yeah. She sure does.
Yeah.
Right. So, all right, Donald, I appreciate you calling in, man. Again, let's keep in touch. Don't go away, and let's talk soon. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Donnie.
All right, thank you, Don.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it, man. Take care.
We'll see you guys
All
next
right,
time.
you too. Good night.
Night.
All right. That was Mr. Donald Marshall, and for those who have been watching, at this point in time, I don't know what to tell you. This is the first time we've had him on, and it is out there. Granted that what he was talking about is just way out there.
It is way out there, but I know, I was kind of like watching the chat a little bit, and there's a lot of people that have a hard time with it.
Sure.
And I get it. Oh, really?
Hold on. There you go. We're back.
I get it.
Right.
But if, for the last week, like I was telling Jeff before the show, I have read and watched so many videos and looked at so many websites, and the thing is history kind of verifies what Donnie says. I mean, like when we were talking about the Anunnaki and the like he talks about the Vril, all around the world people go look. There's lizards. They were gods everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, China has their dragons. And even though, like he said something about the British, they have the Pendragon was their king. I mean, like it goes. South America has their, dragon.
Go ahead and let's go ahead and get a hold of Heidi. She's not going to come on video, but just audio.
Okay. Let's see if I can find
Heidi. We haven't had Heidi for the past couple of weeks. So 1 week is that we had technical problems, and if you guys were aware of that last week, then you guys understand there. And the week before that, she was sick. So
how about Heidi? Can you hear me? Why don't you call in? Because I can't find. I mean, I have to look. Oh, wait a minute. I got her.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Heidi.
So we'll get a hold of Heidi right now. And then after we talk to Heidi, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the cloning a little bit more. And then we'll call it a night. Hopefully she'll answer here.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Heidi.
How's it going,
Heidi?
How's it going?
Going good.
Awesome.
Actually, really good. We didn't get cut off or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't touch anything, and I wanted it to go smooth, and I was very gentle on doing anything. So, before we went on, we reset the modem. We made sure that everything was good. Nobody in the house is gaming. Actually, you did a speed test before we went on, and what was it? 150 meg?
Yeah, about 150 meg.
Yeah, 150 meg on the upload. Download, and then
it was like 20 on upload.
24 on the upload. So we're pushing some good power on this side. So, all right, Heidi, we haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks, and I'm glad you're on now because everybody's been saying, "What the hell happened to Heidi?"
I know. Last week, I don't know. It felt like I was getting the flu. It was weird, and then crazy pounding headache, and then I got this crazy cough out of nowhere. I literally had to take prednisone. I was just hacking so freaking much, and so that bloated me. I'm like, oh, good Lord, this steroid use, horrible. I don't know how people can handle that.
I can't take any more of them because of poison oak. When I was a little kid, I got in the poison oak, and then I was allergic.
Oh.
And then I grew up in the mountains, so mountains and poison oak, it kind of goes together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And over the years, I would get in it. Sometimes somebody else would get in it. And then they would come back and lean on the car or sit in my furniture or something. And then I would get it. all over my body, and I wouldn't even. The worst thing about it, like if people don't know about poison oak, if you get in it, go take a cool shower, not a hot shower, because it gets in the steam and it'll get all over your body. And I would get it all over my body, and then they would put me on those steroid prednisone, and that deteriorates your joints.
Does it?
Yeah, if you take too many. So now it's on my medical records. I can't take anymore.
Oh my God! Like my face puffed out. Like what the heck is this stuff?
Wow.
Horrible. But I'm not on camera tonight because I just washed my hair, and I'm like, no way.
That's okay though.
Well, too bad we have you up right now and everybody's looking at you. Ha!
I have it blocked. I always keep my camera blocked after I heard that people could tap into it. That's crazy.
Yeah, you keep a little tape on it. Yeah, I have friends running around with cell phones with little tape on their camera that aims at them.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I have a cute little sticker.
that'll work. All right, Heidi, tell everybody who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? First, I have to tell you guys, I missed a good show. I came on here late, and I'm like, oh.
You can always go back and view it.
Yeah,
So.
but underground bases and stuff. I mean, me and my crazy stuff that's happened. But anyways, I'll introduce myself.
Sure.
But I want to invite everybody to feel free to write me anything and everything out of the ordinary that's happened to them. Write me at oddadvicehh@gmail.com, and please visit my main website, which is HeidiHollis.com. Has information on there in regards to aliens and shadow people and anything and everything out of the ordinary. And I always say I'm someone who's been there, seen that, experienced it, freaked out, found some answers, wrote about it, got over it, and now I'm trying to help other people do the same thing and understand this kooky world of ours. And on here, I like to give reports about odd stuff that I come across. So, you got the stuff from a couple of weeks ago.
I sure do.
We got cut off, and I had to step out of the room, so this where the chat room, because the audio, I know there's a way to mute it, and I forgot where the heck to mute it. So I can't see what you're pulling up, but I'm assuming that you're pulling up the picture of the television.
Okay, let me pull that up right now.
Just tell him what to pull up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Number one is the TV in the background.
Yeah. So this was floating around on Facebook in a group that I'm in, and a ghost researcher wanted to share this, and this is what they said. Wanted to share 2 photos with a case of a mother being obsessed with a cemetery where her daughter was recently buried. The researcher then said that they were familiar with the cemetery as it holds a lot of demonic activity and is extremely active during the day and nighttime. The mother and her brother swear that this is her daughter in the picture. But they know better. Something followed them home and is posing as their daughter, and they wanted to get feedback and opinions on it. Now, when you're looking at this with these skinny white legs, I'm like, it looks kind of like an alien to me.
It does to me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it looks like President Obama's head.
I don't. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm trying to pick it apart. Is there another picture? The second.
Yes, there's another one of a close-up of it.
All right, let me pull that one up then.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry. Go there. All right, let's try number 2. Oh, now I see it.
Yeah, see, there it is. Obama.
Obama. You're so silly. Obama.
Okay.
Crazy looking.
All right. Well, okay. I see 2 things. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the arrow. I don't think you can see the arrow. Can you see the arrow? The pointer on there. I think I took it off. Is it on there? No.
Well,
I'm not
this
able
is like
to...
3 minutes behind.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
we're
I'm
on the
gonna see if I
first
can...
picture.
I see something right in the middle, and then I see something at the bottom, like an alien's, like a reptilian's face. Then again, that's just me on crack.
No, I see it too, though. Even though I'm on the bigger picture, I can still see it.
Yeah. Yeah, and something down in the lower left-hand corner. I got into the room again. I found the mute button, so I'm able to see where you're circling. But
Oh.
yeah, I see that. And over into the lower left-hand corner too, that looks like two eyes.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's
See,
kind
some
of
of
weird.
it could be pareidolia or whatever you call
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but only there is something there.
Yeah,
It looks like,
I see a head there, definitely.
Truly. And that skinny body, I'm just like, wow, that is really creepy. But I wonder what the rest of the story is because they said it's posing as the daughter. So I wonder if there's other things going on that they just didn't indicate in the group. But what a creepy pic. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, why would their daughter want to look like that in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, they're stretching to think it's the daughter, I
Isn't
think.
that sad? How I understand how people want to connect with their dead loved one, but
Right.
let's hope that they've gone to greener pastures and aren't lingering around blocking the television.
Yeah, I don't think they're here. I think it's an imposter. But that's just what I think. So, all right, let's go to the next one.
Truly, the next.
Go for it.
Cool.
Go for
yeah,
it.
so we could do
All
that.
right, hold on. Let's put some atmosphere here inside the studio.
Love
Gotta
it.
do it. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Get it rolling.
All right.
All right.
Go for it.
Okay, so this is the beginning of this lovely story. It says, "It almost felt like a dream. I woke up to my dog Lucy barking. She was upright on the bed where my husband and I were sleeping with our 22-month-old daughter, staring at our door like an unknown stranger was out there rummaging around. I thought she was just freaking out over a house noise. We'd only had her for 3 months and she was still a puppy. It could have been anything. Our roommate, a creak from the house settling, the awnings moving outside in the breeze. I wasn't too concerned initially. I decided the best bet would be to open the door and show her nothing was there. It sounds a bit silly, but it's what we do with our daughter when she gets scared, and I figured it should work with the puppy too. I opened the door and she raced to the front door. She stood there snarling at the door. It was an angry, violent growl, one I had never heard her make before. I looked groggily at her and opened the baby gate, blocking the doorway, planning to open the door and show her everything was okay. The second my hand reached for the dead bolt, Lucy went wild. She started barking and jumped towards me, and when I touched the metal, she suddenly changed her temper. She whimpered almost like she was afraid and backing down. As her mannerism changed, so did mine. I wasn't calm anymore. My heart was racing and sinking at the same time. I'd been flooded with a mixture of fear and dread. I looked through the peephole. I can't explain why I looked, but I did. Outside were two kids. One was just a smidgen taller than me. I didn't look much younger. I'm 21, and she looked to be about 16 or 17. She was slender and pale. Her hair was light shade of honey blonde, and she wore it long, about mid-back, with long, thin, blunt bangs in the front that covered most of her eyes. She wore jeans, a light wash that's popular right now, and a thin-looking olive-colored pullover. Well, this is a lot of detail. Olive-colored pullover style hoodie. She held the hand of a small girl who looked to be about 3 or 4 years old, in the same style jeans and a button-down ivory cardigan. The smaller one looked at the floor shyly and had the same shade of blonde tied back in a ponytail. She held a stuffed toy under her free arm, and it was identical to the one my daughter has, as was their style of dress. Had it not been for the feeling of overwhelming dread and fear, I probably would have asked these children and given them some, invited them in and given them some tea or hot chocolate to get them out of the bitter cold. But something about them seemed off. At this point, I hadn't made any noise. I hadn't shushed the dog or grumbled, nothing. I hadn't turned on any lights. These kids had no indicators that I was at the door. That's when the older one spoke. She had a voice that was mature, confident, strong, and accentless. She held her head tilted downward, and I couldn't see her eyes. She said, "We have to use your phone." I stood frozen in fear. How did she know I was there? She raised her head to face me directly. That was when I saw her eyes. There was a reason I couldn't see them through her bangs before, because they were black, or midnight blue, or a dark, dark purple. They were otherworldly. She said, "Our mother is worried." As someone who has always been interested in creepy stories, I knew what she was the second she looked at me through the door. I have never been one to believe in such things. As a staunch atheist and skeptic when it comes to the paranormal, I had written off many ghost stories from friends and family members eager to tell their tale. I didn't believe it. Still, I couldn't rationalize my way out of this. I was standing with nothing but a thin wooden door between me and a black-eyed kid. There was no questioning what was right in front of me. I did not answer her. Slowly and silently, I backed away from the door. Lucy was still cowering at my ankles. She kept talking. "Just let us in to use your phone." I took another step back, and with that step, the tone changed. At first, she seemed polite, but when I took that second step back, she became commanding, almost hostile. "We're not going to hurt you. If we wanted to do that, we would have broken in. I'll ask again. May we come in and use your phone?" Lucy snarled at the door, and I inched backward, though something inside was slowly pulling me back towards the door. It wasn't a physical pulling so much as a subconscious need to go back and let them in. I got to my room, covered up the window, locked the door, and sat there in the dim light of the nightlight. I heard her call me back to the door once more, and then quiet. I didn't go back to sleep that night, and I haven't slept right since. I know from reading about them that black-eyed kids can't come in without permission. I know they haven't hurt anyone, but I still fear I'll be the exception. When I told my husband, he said it was just a dream. He keeps telling me to forget it, but this lingering feeling of sadness, this dread when the house is silent at night, this fear of a knock at the door keeps coming to me. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Whoa.
crazy.
Yes. That's crazy. That's kind of scary.
Truly.
You think?
Yeah. I'm glad I never ran into anything like that.
I can't imagine. I was wondering what that whispering sound is. I'm like, what is
Wait,
that?
what whispering sound?
I don't own enough underwear to handle stuff like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That whispering sound that you guys got playing, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
Must be, like some kind of something on the phone line.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No idea.
Love it. Oh, my God.
We're here. We're here to give you guys nightmares. Simple as that. I hope that worked.
I love these black-eyed kid stories. They're really creepy. But, man, I was so... Oh, I wish I had heard the rest of the show. I was just so busy. But the underground base stuff...
Well,
I mean,
it was mostly into cloning, human cloning. This guy is a very controversial person that we had on tonight, named Donald Marshall.
Yeah.
And it's about human cloning, about the what's happening underground to the elite Illuminati, the actors, the rock stars, what's really going on. This guy's been out, promoting that for a long time. And finally, the only reason why I had him on tonight is because I have seen with my own personal with my eyes tweets from several rock stars, Nicki Minaj, a rapper, B.O.B., and some other person who actually tweeted out about cloning. And that's the reason why I needed to have him on here, because he's not the only person talking about it. So,
right.
And it's way out there. Trust me, this is something that I probably would have never talked about, on this show, the way we did today. But it's, when other people are talking about it, when I'm saying other people, subjects, that are being cloned, then I there's got to be something there. And that's why I had Donald Marshall on.
Well,
I was going to say, I'd met somebody many years ago at the Ozark UFO conference, and I can't remember who she was there with, if she was... She was there with a hypnotist, and she shared her story being abducted by reptilians, and how they essentially killed her, took her on board a ship, killed her, and then they literally fed her to these like worm-like creatures, and then they rolled in another body that looked just like her, and put her soul right back in it.
Whoa.
Yeah, a pretty crazy story. I'm like, that was like one of the first times I'd ever heard of such a thing. And then, he's talking about the same, but
Right.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Crazy stuff.
Well,
Love it.
in the movies, they've been talking about it in the movies for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
true.
kind of what.
Well, the
led me
underground
to it.
reptilians I have been aware of for a long time.
Mhm.
Oh,
And but this whole cloning stuff was it's again
Different.
it's not new to me. I've heard
Yeah.
about it, but it's like you have to step back and say, okay, there's a lot of stuff we talk about on this show, but
Yeah.
and Donald Marshall, if you're still watching us, I'm not making fun of you, dude.
No.
By all means, there is something to this.
Yes.
And that's why I had him on tonight, is because he's not the only one talking about it. And now all of a
Right.
sudden you're telling me, Heidi, somebody told you a story about them, about something happening to them similar to what we were talking about tonight. It's like,
Yes.
how many other people are having the same experience, but they're keeping it to themselves? That's what that's one of the reasons why that I had him on, and hopefully other people will now come forward and
Oh, yeah.
and see
Definitely.
what happens. So.
That would
Kudos
be nice,
to you.
wouldn't it? Maybe they'll be emailing Heidi. Like, hey,
What was
I was
what
on
was that? You're breaking up a
cold-
little bit. What did you say?
I was on that little cold, stainless steel rack one time.
Not you.
No.
Oh, you never told
No,
me
I
about
mean,
that.
they'll be like emailing her, telling
Oh,
her
yeah, yeah,
stories,
yeah.
It's really breaking up where I could barely hear you guys. Truly,
Really?
it's like I don't know.
Serious?
What
Hold on.
saying.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Check 1 2.
Oh, that's a little bit better.
Wow, crazy stuff. All right, all right.
Yeah, that seems to happen to us sometimes.
Well, you know
here.
what? This was a 1-part show tonight. I am so happy. Thank you. For some reason, this show went all the way straight through without any stoppage.
Thank you, Cloning
Hey.
Center people, for letting us stay on.
Thank you. I was sure that we were going to go 2 or 3 parts on this tonight,
too.
but I did a couple of things that that let's just say I made sure that our speed was where it's supposed to be, and hey, and so it
Very
happened.
cool.
So okay, all right, Heidi, thank you very much, and I
Yes.
guess we'll see you next week, and make sure you take a shower way beforehand.
Okay, yes, I sure will. All right, talk to you guys
All right,
soon.
take it next week.
care.
All right, see ya.
Hi, Heidi.
Bye.
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 Wash her hair, please. Put it. I could see her with a towel like wrapped around like a girl would. Doing the,
I think that would have been a
that
cool
would have been
picture.
that would have been funny as hell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, guys. How many people did we lose tonight? How many people shut
Actually,
down?
not very. We were really like up and around. It was about
That's just the chat.
300 and something
Okay.
in chat.
Okay, that's
the whole
that's
time.
that's the most we've ever had on chat.
And then now we're down to 266.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
About the average.
Yeah, and we told everybody what type of show this was going to be tonight. Again, we were going down the rabbit hole. I wanted to hear from Donald Marshall, and I've heard a couple of other interviews that he had. He's basically talking the same stuff over and over
He
again.
never changes. That's why when you were starting to talk about having him on here,
Right.
I was a little bit excited because
Sure.
I mean,
You've been wanting to have him on for a long time.
right, yeah, because his story never changes.
Right.
And then this last week, I'm telling you, people, I read lots of stuff, and that's why I asked him about some of the things about going back into like ancient time, because in ancient time, a lot of these symbols and things that he was talking about, like the guy wants to be called Ray instead of Ra. I mean, Amun Ra. I mean, there's movies about that dude.
Raw. Yeah.
And
The Eye of Raw.
Right.
Right.
And we're getting all this stuff. You watch the videos and they're covering their eye and doing it. But the only thing with me is I and there was it looked like a big fight in chat. And it's a difference of opinions on people. Like some people don't believe in God, and some people do believe in God. You know,
Right.
but I call it a prison planet. These things were, when we were created, were put here to watch over us. And then they did bad things, and then they decided they could do it better than God, and then they started cloning people, you know, like making their own people. And, you know, I don't know all the answers. All I know is it very well could be demon, and I kind of lean towards that.
Right.
Only because some other things that we, you know, when we go to people's houses and stuff like that,
Yeah.
we're able to stop stuff.
By saying
And then
words.
so, you know, like how can you totally throw something out as being not a possibility when it controls things?
Right.
You know, and some people have a hard time. They don't want to listen to Donald Marshall because that's demons, you know, and then the other people are like, no, it's not. There's no such thing as God, you know. So, I mean, it's like a big fight.
Right.
And I think that's what they want, confusion.
Sure.
They don't want you to be unconfused, and that's why we do what we do here.
To confuse the what out of you.
Yeah, no, really, we're trying to
No.
unconfuse, I mean, we're still confused too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're here as a news station for paranormal. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to give you guys the news that it's up to us to bring you the stuff that you don't hear. Even though you guys do a lot of research, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about that somehow we get knowledge of. You know, like Donald Marshall. A lot of you guys had no clue about him 3 weeks ago. Then we started talking about him and cloning and Nicki Minaj and the tweet and all that kind of stuff. And then you guys were all, you guys are way out there now. And I even had people say, I'm gonna stop listening to you guys, stop watching you guys, because this, what you guys are talking about, is absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Well,
it is. Well, so is Bigfoot.
Yeah, boom. I was going to say, well, so is Bigfoot. But here we're showing you proof of Bigfoot. Okay? And so take that and step back and say, okay, well, if this is real, then why cannot this other stuff be real? I mean, way back then, if someone would have told you there's a hairy creature walking around the mountains, the Sierra Mountains, you probably said you're out of your freaking mind. And hopefully you watching our show now for the past several years, the evidence that we have brought to you, the screams, the people at the Native Americans at the Chule Reservation, their encounters, what we have been encountering, we're showing you this stuff. We're letting you hear this stuff.
In fact, I can't wait. Like you dropped one on me last week about the Thule Reservation and an encounter, and we were gonna.
And I wanted her to come on tonight, and obviously we had Donald Marshall. So hopefully now for sure we'll get her on next week.
But next week's supposed to be special too. Maybe we might not.
With her, you mean going on or
the 11th? Is that what you said it was?
Oh, no. It's just going to be a phone conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. It's not going to be that yet. No, so we're okay there.
Okay.
But, all right. All right. We have gone 15 minutes over, you guys.
Oh, wow.
I want to say thank you guys very much for showing up tonight. It was a wild show. I hope we didn't scare you off, and I hope you guys will come back next week.
Sounds bad.
Yeah.
Music sounds bad.
It's like, it sounds like overpowering. But anyways, we'll see you guys next week, okay? Same time, same channel.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
The Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and on ArtBell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. Something you cannot explain.
I don't know why it's doing that.